Welcome to MX Matters, where we discuss all things media experience and the trends shaping the visual economy. I'd like to welcome you, our guest, Margaret Staples. Thank you
Hello.
for joining us today, or joining me today. Us,
Hi.
me, everyone. Um, yeah, I'd love to hear what do you do? What is your role?
Who am I even?
Who are you?
I'm Margaret Staples, and I work for a company called Twilio. And we do lots of things. Mostly, we make communications APIs. So, if you are creating an app and you want to add some sort of communication to that, be it text messaging or WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger or email or voice or like all of the communication things that aren't in person, we have APIs for that. And at Twilio, I specifically work in a teeny tiny team that makes our educational video game, which is called TwilioQuest. And I both I both write code within the game, and I also run our community things.
Wonderful. What sparked TwilioQuest and how has it evolved over the last 4 years?
It's more than four, but yes. Okay, so the
Love
TwilioQuest
to know the history.
didn't used to exist, but it was born out of something called the developer education team. And the developer education team was originally tasked with creating and maintaining our documentation and also running our training programs. And TwilioQuest was originally created to be the curriculum for those full day training programs that the education team would run. And in its first incarnation, it was actually just a web page that was a gamification of a collection of micro tutorials. And every micro tutorial would accrue experience points, and you had like a little avatar that you could that if you got loot drops, you could like equip your avatar. But it was really just a website with like some 16-bit gamification elements to it. And that was actually created by my fellow Twilio human, Kevin Winnery. And it was actually it's really funny because like in Twilio, we're very much one of our mottos is keep it weird. And so specifically on the developer network, which is the team of teams that I work on, we're a little bit notorious for like wandering off of the beaten trail. So TwilioQuest is one of those things that we asked if we could do, and we're told no, and then did it anyway. But then after it existed, it was actually so popular. Unsurprisingly, developers like nerdy things, surprise, surprise, that it actually became something that we invested in more and more year after year until eventually it became its own team. And it's actually a legit like video game now. Like you can install it and on Mac, on Windows, on Linux, and you install it as a standalone video game, and you run around, and you play a video game, and in the course of that video game, you learn things in addition to accruing experience points and loot drops and stuff.
I respect that so much, and I I just feel it's amazing that I got to see how TwilioQuest evolved over the years since it launched. And I've been to so many conferences and seen Twilio at so many conferences, and these TwilioQuest workshops get very popular. Some individuals love learning in a gamified way. So this is very amazing what Twilio is doing.
And this year we actually did something super cool that you're aware of, but I'm going to say it out loud for audience humans who might not be. We actually came out with an authoring toolkit for TwilioQuest for human beings that may want to create content within TwilioQuest who don't work at Twilio. So we made it available to our community earlier this year in sort of like a preview beta thing. And Tessa, you were kind enough to work with me directly on creating some of our first external TwilioQuest created levels, which is just so amazing. Thank you so much for that support. It was really exciting to work with you.
Definitely, it's an easy way and a free way to be able to create your own content, whether it's developer related content or other types of content. So definitely check out TwilioQuest extensions.
Free and open source.
Have you found any challenges with TwilioQuest extensions and something they promise to overcome over time, or maybe specific to TwilioQuest itself?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, TwilioQuest has its own fun, weird collection of challenges. We kind of backed accidentally into creating an educational video game. I mean, that was not Twilio's original mission. So we wandered into a problem space that isn't one that any of us had thought that we would be engaging with professionally. And so it's been a learning journey for us. So part of creating this offering path for people has been exploring the different ways that TwilioQuest can be useful. So we've been partnering with like boot camps and like code camps and actually like even like primary and secondary educators to figure out like how this can be an educational resource that is useful to educators in a variety of different contexts. And each one of those contexts has its own set of challenges. So in addition to getting to work with you and Joel with the Cloudinary team, I also have gotten to work with some community humans, including some junior developers. Hi, Arthur. And also, we've been working with a legit professional curriculum designer because one of the bigger challenges that we've been tackling is as very largely community taught and self-taught developers, we're not necessarily going to automatically know what makes a great learning experience for a wide variety of learners. And so it's been wonderful to like unpack some of the lessons that a actual curriculum designer who that has been her entire professional career can bring in and integrate into this virtual gamified environment. It's very cool.
Speaking of community engagement, and I'm part of the TwilioQuest Discord, and I've noticed it's growing pretty quickly and there's more interest in it. Can you elaborate on the success TwilioQuest has had with this community engagement, with building all this community and working with all these partner organizations?
Sure. Okay. So, because of the way it started out, as just the curriculum for our trainings, that actually stayed the core of its functionality for for most of its life. I would say up until the end of last year, the TwilioQuest community was really more just the developer community that got excited when there was a TwilioQuest event available. And I definitely fed into that because I'm an 80s kid. I'm very into like the arcade aesthetic, and I would show up to these conferences with a bunch of arcade prizes, and I would let people cash in their TwilioQuest points for prizes. And there was a lot of enthusiasm. There was a lot of just sort of like affection for the concept and engagement with it, but there wasn't a community because there was no connective tissue to keep these people relating to each other and investing in those mutual support relationships over time. So with the Discord and with our forums and with these authoring tools and with our steady cadence of streaming every Tuesday on Twitch at 9 a.m. Pacific time, we have actually built up a community of mutual support learners and educators that aren't just engaged for an individual event, but instead are engaged with the idea of making the technical education more accessible to a wider variety of human beings.
So now that Twilio Extensions is going to be a bigger thing over time, where will they take the game? Is TwilioQuest going to add more extensions on their end? How do you see this?
So obviously, I don't predict, I can't tell the future, but talking to the team, I actually got to meet with a bunch of my team members in person in Seattle yesterday. Mind blowing,
Ooh.
blowing people in person. Who knew? And it sparked a lot of discussion about where we see TwilioQuest and the team going. And we see three main avenues of growth coming out of the authoring toolkit. And there's the internal product growth. Like Twilio has just continued to create amazing tech products over time, and there are just tons and tons and tons of them. And so one of the things that we're doing with the authoring toolkit is making it more self-service internally. So these different product teams are more able to create Twilio content for their users to onboard these new technical solutions that they're developing. And then there's also the external community and organization driven development. So like the content that you created for Cloudinary, we definitely see that being a growing thing, because teaching is the best way to learn for our community, and creating a gamified option for learning is a great way for any organization to diversify the onboarding experience to appeal to more humans. And then the third piece that we're really excited to see grow is we have just started embracing TwilioQuest as an educational platform for more than just technical content. So that's one of the things that we worked really closely with our curriculum designer on, is developing some of the first non-technical educational content within the game. And both with the technical and with the non-technical educational content, we're seeing a lot of appetite within more traditional educational spaces for figuring out how we can partner with educators to make this more of a universally applicable and useful educational tool, because it's free, it's flexible, and if we can make it accessible to educators in a variety of contexts, that just makes all of this learning potential more accessible to more humans, and that's the goal.
I definitely agree. And we both have a background in education, so we have this passion and understanding for teaching, especially in creative ways. So that brings me to the last question. Where is TwilioQuest headed in the next 5 years? And you did mention that that's not something you can predict. If you had it your way, where do you think it should head in the next 5 years?
Oh gosh. So one of the things I'm really excited about with TwilioQuest that I'm certainly hoping we can pursue in the next 5 years is re-engaging in live events. There's so much magic that happens when you can get people into the same room. One of the first things that I loved about TwilioQuest was I found that when I put together training days using TwilioQuest, because of the nature of the platform and the choose your own adventure style of learning that it provides, I would see people who are like in their first 6 weeks of a boot camp sitting next to somebody who's been an engineer for 40 years, and they're both engaging with the same learning platform, but they're able to tackle the pieces that are right for their experience level and what they're attempting to learn, and watching them support each other. It's just magical to be able to create these experiences where people from a variety of backgrounds and at a variety of experience levels can dig into the same thing and enjoy the same shared experience. So I'm very excited to see how that grows once as the world opens up again, and as we all are able to start meeting in person again. But also, I'm just very excited to see this grow as a free educational resource. We just need to be able to make a lot more cutting edge educational concepts accessible quickly. You don't want to have to wait until it can be codified in a textbook to learn tech things. That's too slow for tech. And right. So I love that we can shorten the feedback loop between somebody finding a new tech thing that they love and then turning that into an educational experience that a huge number of people can tap into.
There's just so much potential that TwilioQuest Extensions has to offer for everyone on a global scale. So this is very exciting. And yeah, I want to thank you again for coming on the MX Matters show and talking a little bit about TwilioQuest Extensions and TwilioQuest. So yeah, thank you so much.